I'm back again. I received a call sometime this morning from someone, and he said he wanted to make inquiry on Peugeot 308. No, I meant I wanted to make inquiry on Peugeot 307, not 308. I told the person to contact do it instead, to make the inquiry instead through WhatsApp. Like I always put out to almost in all my social media accounts or whatever, any site that I talk about projects and want giving people the how they can access me. I put out the information how they can access me to make the inquiries on project cars for free. I always put that condition that if you want to do it, please do it either through WhatsApp or Telegram, So, which was why I advised this guy. So, from what I could see, I just wanted to point out a few things before I go into answering the questions. Please, guys, when you are sending or you want to make this inquiry, you want to send me a message, SMS or WhatsApp for as an inquiry, please just prepare it as a post. You don't need to start scattering it. Just, you type one word, you post. You type one second word, you post. Please just make it, just put, go into the space, type in all your information in one page. You can, even after posting the inquiry as it was one page or as a mail, you can always send another one if you remember something else you need to add. But not just you use one word, one line, hello, you post. The second one, how are you doing? You post. Please, I want to make a call, you post. Please, I want to talk about positive, say you post. No, come on. It makes it very untidy, and even the person that wants to help you out in this case, it just wears that person down. So you just put it as a message. Put everything in one place, post it. I'll read it, then respond to it. He said, hi, I'm Toshi. Need a picture of that engine. And do you have a fairly used one for sale? Another thing, please, number one, I don't know what you're talking about. Do you have a picture of that engine? And just use another thing, please, all these things about people using short words or cutting. Please, see, I understand that I'm not gynocentric. I don't do things because everybody is doing it. If you don't know what gynocentrism means, just go and look it up. I'm not a gynocentric person. I don't follow the crowd. I don't do what everybody is doing. So this idea of, you want to send somebody, you want to express something to somebody, you are using some words, some alphabets or words that I don't know. You think I'm like a normie, like a rapper. I don't. Most times it takes me some seconds to even figure out what the person is trying to explain in that post because he's using short words, you know. And he said, need a picture of that engine. I don't know what engine you are talking about. You start asking questions by not even say, okay, like you said when you called that what's it called? I watched one of my videos on Project 307, want to make inquiry or 307 for Uber. And here I was asking specifically, what engine are you interested in? If you did watch my video, I would have known that I mentioned the engine specifically. And you could see I kept asking the same question, is the maintenance expensive? 307 for Uber. And I kept asking, which engine specifically? I've done over, I don't even know, more than 10 videos. It's probably going to 15 or 20 now. I can't count or remember how many, but I know I've done more than or close to 10 videos on Peugeot specifically, explaining each of their engines, especially the petrol engines, the ones that can serve you well for commercial, the ones that can also use for both commercial and private, and the ones that you can use for fun or for sports. I did everything explaining the cost of maintenance and the rest. So if I want to talk, even the Uber thing, I've done about 2 or 3 videos on Peugeot 307 on Uber specifically. I've even written articles on Peugeot 307 that you can use for Uber. So yeah, you can't say we need picture of that engine. Which of the engine? Because I don't remember saying, oh, this is the only one that you can use for Uber. I've never said that in any of my videos. But so if you ask me, which engine are you talking about? I keep saying, is the maintenance expensive? 307 for Uber. And of course, I asked which engine specifically. I've done over 300 videos. I want to know which engine you are referring to. You said for Peugeot 307, for Uber, you talked about in one of your videos. In one of my videos, but like I said, there are so many of them. I'm not in your mind to know which video are you talking about. I don't have time to be remembering everything I've said in all my videos I've done. I've done almost close to 400 videos. If you want me to remember everything I said or which one I talked about, it's not left for you to point it out and say, oh, this is the one. And I also asked you, send me the link. Send me the link of the video you are referring to, you said you talked about, so that I'll know exactly what your question you want to. If you don't know the engine model, then I will understand, okay, this is actually what I said in that video. Then I'll know what to respond, you know. Because also I could see I said, yeah, I've done over 10 videos on Project 307. So you have to be specific on which one. Send me the link. That link, he meant send me the link of, he said you watch one of my videos, then send me, just attach the link of that video. So that when I look at it, I'm okay, this is actually what you are talking about. Maybe because you don't know anything or don't know much about Peugeot or Peugeot 307, so you may not actually capture or know the engine model, even though I probably have said it. I must have said it, I must have mentioned it in that video, the engine model. But it makes sense that if you don't know much about that, you may not know it often or be able to, you may not know the engine model, even though I've said it there. But you didn't provide what I requested for, so that since we are not specific, your questions were not clear, you know. And you kept saying, how else can I ask the question? Please go through the chat. Your chat is not comprehensive. It's not even coherent. It's scattered. And what you're saying, your chat did not, I don't know. I don't even understand, honestly. No, the one you said is best for Uber with low fuel economy. Mm. So the reason why I'm pointing this out, it's not just about this particular guy, person that sent me this thing. I do get some of these things like that, questions like that. Just put everything in one place, write it down, post it. If there are so many questions I receive on daily basis, emails and these things, but I don't do video on all of them. Reason being that some of them, when they come in and when I read it, I find out that I've done video on that particular subject or what he wanted to find or inquiries he's making. I'll just refer him to, go and check, or just search for so and so title. I've written an article on that, or visit my YouTube channel, look for so and so title, you will find it there. I've done video 2 days ago, 3 days ago, or some weeks ago on this particular question or subject you want to make inquiries on. So I won't have to keep repeating myself over and over. Then if it's the one that, even though I've done video, but not as, maybe there's a question the new person is asking that I also need to make some clarification on that subject, I would then do another video on that, even though I've done it before. But at least specifically stressing more on the the new thing the person is asking on that subject. You guys understand that what I'm doing is granting favors. And most time people make it look like they are entitled. No, I'm just doing a favor. When you're asking somebody something for free, you just have to understand. You have to make it easy for somebody, that person, to grant you or to help you out. Not that you make it very poor, you make it problematic or very difficult for person to even do that help. For example, some will call and say, ask me to, oh, I want to do this. I say, oh, visit my YouTube channel, check so and so, last 3 or 5 videos, you will find it there. They will ask you, oh, send me the link of that specific video. When I've already given you the link of my channel, is it my headache to now go and start looking for that video? I've already given you the clue. I've already given you the route where you can find your problem, find solution to your problem. But you still want me to go and answer for myself to help you for free. I mean, come on. When I don't do it, then you start shouting that Ikenna is very mean and wicked. It's not this. Yes, just reduce your entitlement. My point is, when you are coming to me, understand that I'm not like every other man. So don't expect me to react to provide the service you are seeking for free, like the gynocentric man will do. Because gynocentric man will want to lick your ass. He want to please you so that you say good things about him in other people. But I don't. I don't really care whether you say good things about me or not. I just do it. What I do about all these videos is because I love doing them. Not because necessary for money or anything. If money start coming in, fine. But I do it because I love doing it, not because of anything. I know this thing is taking most of the time on what I'm supposed, into the video, but it makes more sense for me to say these things now so that in future, people that will call will know. See, I will just come straight to the point. A lot of there are so many calls and mails that are coming in. Go straight to the point. State everything you can, then I'll respond to it. And then have patience, or eventually I do. I have a private life. I have a busy life like every other person. So don't think that once you come, I must respond to you. Not like there are people that pay me to attend to them whenever they have their car issues, and I do it. They pay the consultancy fee, which is 20,000. Do it, and I won't need to do a video when you have an issue for your car. I will call you most times, spend up to an hour explaining each how to go about fixing the problem because you pay for that service. But when you're asking it for free, don't get entitled to that. I owe you. I don't owe you anything. I don't owe you nothing. I can choose to do it or not. So, what I'm going to do this time about these questions, I'm going to go fully into, I want to use statistics now, or normal like figures. Let me start using, not just by mere words. I use figures to explain specifically about Peugeot 307 in relation to commercial purposes like Uber with petrol engines. So here we go. Okay, so moving on. All right, so okay, okay, this is diesel. Yeah. Okay, so this one is okay. This one makes sense. Now, this is Peugeot 307 2005, right? This is the user manual. So don't think I made it. That all these things I've been saying that I made them up. Anybody that does the Peugeot 307 that have user manual, just go to this. From 2005 upward, basically the same. So you can see this is the RFJ. That RFJ stands for EW10A, that's a 2.0 liter petrol engine in Peugeot 307. Phase 2, that's a T6. Now you can see the 2.0, it has a 143 bhp. So this is the manual. You can see here. Okay, let's start from the first box. Is you see the listed things there, the weight and the rest. The second one there, where you have a 2-liter 16 valve 143 bhp. So you have manual and the auto, which stands for RFJC is for manual. The auto RFJF is for automatic. So what this means is Peugeot 307 phase 2 with a 2.0 liter. The weight, the cab weight is about 325 or 300 and no 1,325 or 1,318 kg. That's what it's talking about, approximately with a driver, without any other load, just the factory stuff in the vehicle. Is expected to have about 1,325 kg maximum, or at least 1,318 minimum. Now, for the automatic, with the same engine, 2.0 liter engine, which is EW10A, you can see it's 1,368 kg mass, or 1,346. So now you can see it, and just that I'm not here to talk about 406, but anybody that understands the Peugeot 406 weight, you know that this weight, especially that of automatic, with this engine, 2.0 liter petrol engine automatic, that's EW10A, has this almost the same weight with Peugeot 406 with EW10J4. So, of course, the next one is the one that has a 2-liter 16 valve 180 bhp. That's for EW10J4S. It comes only with manual. As you can see, it has about maximum of 1,380 kg. Okay, but that's not where we are focusing on. But it's one of the petrol engines in Peugeot 307. Okay, let's move on. All right, so here we are. Before I talked about this particular page, I will say Peugeot 307 2005 has 3 petrol engines. 3 petrol engines. Peugeot 307 phase 2 or T6, which says about from 2005 to 2009 or 8, thereabouts. That's when it ended, the production ended. So it has 3 petrol engines. That is TU3JP, or I think either TU3JP or TU3A. Basically, in fact, but it's just the same engine. Whether TU3JP or TU3A is the same. Then we also have the second engine is TU5JP4, which is 1.6 liter engine, while the first one I mentioned, which is TU3A or TU3JP, is a 1.4 liter engine. So now the first one I showed you guys, which is what's it called? No, for Peugeot 307 has 4 engines, petrol engine, not 3. So the first 2.0 liter I showed you is okay, I've mentioned the name already, EW10A, which is 2.0 liter. So that makes it the third engine, while the fourth one is another 2.0 liter EW10J4S. Okay, so back to this page. So you can see here it says 1.4 liter 16 valve manual KFU. So that KFU stands for the TU3 engine, which is a 1.4 liter petrol engine. It has about 72 to 75 horsepower. very low power, or if I would say underpowered. Let me just leave it like that. Then the next one is 1.6 liter engine, which is the TU5 JP4, which most people know. Nigerians mostly regard this as 307 engine, which is not. Just because the engine was launched with 307 does not necessarily make it 307. No, it wasn't even launched with 307, if I would say. But I know it was during the time of 307 it was launched that Peugeot started using it. Started using the engine. No, it wasn't like, no, because 307. Yeah, well, you could say that because but the 206 also has the engine and some other Citroen vehicles. So yeah, I could say yes, it was launched when 307 was launched. So, but it doesn't necessarily make it a Peugeot 307 engine. I'm talking about the 1.6 liter petrol engine, which is the TU5 JP4. Okay, so now back to this page. You can see the 1.4 liter one has a maximum of 1,200 and almost 1,250 kg. That's the weight. Minimum 1,233. The other one, the 1.6 liter for the manual, has about 1,280 kg. Minimum of 1,262 kg. Automatic, of course, automatic will always have more weight. It has 1,318 kg, 1,300 kg minimum. Okay, so I just wanted to point out the weight so that when I'm explaining some of these things, you understand truly why this consume more in certain conditions, why the other consume less in certain conditions. Even though the one that consume less, this one that consume less in this condition has more power, while the other one that consume higher has lesser power, which is supposed to consume less in theory. Okay, moving on. Okay, now I know this is where the most people will be interested, including the person that asked this question that inspired me to do this video. Now look at this. Now this is the table for the fuel consumption of the petrol engines, both petrol and diesel anyway, but of course our focus here is the petrol. It's 7.307 2005. So let me zoom in so that you guys will understand or see it clearly. Cut off the diesel ones so I understand. Okay, just take your time and look through the table. You will see the first this for starting from the first the left, is it left side, that's the engine models, even though they use the engine sizes or the capacity, that's the cubic capacity to indicate the engine models, 1.4 to 2.2 liter. Yeah. Then the next one is the gearbox type, manual or auto. Then the model codes, of course. Then the next ones the next ones are the urban fuel consumption. The urban is more like the city drive. So urban circuit miles per gallon. That's what it means is the city drive. The interurban is the highway drive. Then the mixed circuit is both, I won't really call it highway, but more like both highway and the city drives mixed. But I hardly go use this mix because you can't really rely on it. But a lot of factors may not make it be the same, come out this way. But it makes more sense when when you use the city and the highway to do your analysis. So the first one is the 1.4 liter. which in theory consume less than all Peugeot 307 with petrol engines, both in the city and the highway, right? So you can see it has 32 miles per gallon, while that's for the city. And you understand that if you are doing Uber or that kind of commercial, you drive more in the city than highway. So in that case, it consumes less. So it will make more sense to uh, use this one for, if you are looking for lesser fuel consumption, which makes more sense in this kind of business. 32 miles per gallon is very, very okay for highway. In fact, much okay. All this is for the theories, the claim Peugeot, these are the claims from Peugeot that you can get from these vehicles. The 1.6 for manual, you can see for manual, it's about 28 miles per gallon in the city. Makes sense. Same 1.6 liter engine automatic, then the fuel consumption now dropped to 25. This is just to tell you guys, for those who always tell you, the fuel consumption between automatic, even some claim that automatic consume less. I don't think so. Even Peugeot itself is showing here that manual consume less, but that's not why you are here anyway. So, well, you could also argue that there's no more difference, which is more like how many? 3 miles per gallon differences. So, the 2.0, when you look at the 2.0 liter, which is the EW10A manual, you can see it says 26 miles per gallon. And when you now compare that 26 to 28, the 28 is that of 1.6. So you see that there's not even much difference. Because I'm talking about power now. Even with the horsepower or the high power differences between the 1.6 and the the 2.0, yet the fuel consumption is like basically the same. Of course, I know the 1.6 consume a little bit less, which is 2 miles per 2 miles per gallon differences. So you can see logically one can even choose to use the manual 2.0 liter. I will come to the reason why it will make more sense, because at some point the manual one will even consume less than this. The manual 2.0 at some point will consume less than the 1.6 on some circumstances. But when you look at the automatic, now look at the automatic of 1.6. Now you could see that the manual 2.0 even consume less than the automatic of 1.6. Right? So the automatic of 2.0 is the lowest here in terms of the city drive. Now, the one I'm focusing more on the city drive is because that's where you'll be doing most of the driving. When we use it for Uber. Yeah, once in a while, depending on the city you drive, you could enter expressway and, so in that case, we'll still come back to the interurban. We enter expressway, but it won't be constant. The speed will not be constant. It's supposed to be missed driving in this case. So that's where you could do that comparison. But for now, city is what matters when it comes to Uber or that kind of commercial or taxi. Especially, let's just say taxi. Let me just use the word taxi. If I want to do taxi, the in-city is where you more focus on. So the fuel consumption of the automatic 2.0 is the lowest. In fact, it's almost the same with the Sport 1, the Sport 307, which is the EW10J4S. That's the 2.0 liter with 180 bhp. That's 180 horsepower. Of course, like I said, we are not going to the diesel. So now when you go to highway, now you could see that the 1.4 still beats all of them in terms of fuel consumption. It consumes less than every one of them. 53. The margin is very high compared to other ones. 48 miles per gallon for the 1.6 manual. Um, for the 2.0 manual is 47 miles per gallon. So additional a difference of just 1 miles per gallon, you know. Um, for the automatic 2.0, say 45 miles per gallon. So it's more like the lowest. It consume that's the in terms of fuel economy is the poorest among the 1.4, 1.6, and the 2.0. I will leave the sports model, sport model, which is the 1.8, 180 HP 2.0. That one is for tele. Yeah, of course, there's no point using this one or analyzing this particular one because it's not meant for taxi. So this is meant for fun. You don't use that kind of fun to run business. That kind of vehicle that is meant for fun. It's a sports car. It's not a sports car, but it's designed for sports. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not saying it's a sports car. So it's for people that want to have fun and burn some fuel. But still, it's impressive. 43 miles per gallon. The missed one, the city and highway, is there. You can just go to it. I don't know. But of course, even at that step, the 1.4 liter consume the best in terms of fuel economy. Now, let me analyze this thing very well. Yes, the 1.4 consume less than every other this thing. But there's a mistake most people make when it comes to stuff like this. This is just more like the theory. When it comes to the practical aspect, there are factors you have to consider or follow before you can achieve all this claim from Peugeot. Now, Peugeot is saying 32 miles per gallon in the city for the 1.4 and 53 miles per gallon. For you to achieve, you can even achieve more than this. But what it means is you have to use the car as designed. Yes, that's where people mess up the whole thing, and then they start wondering how come they are not getting the fuel consumption at least close to what the manufacturer claimed. I don't think there's any Peugeot 307 with that 1.4 liter engine, petrol engine that comes with alloy wheel. Yes, I'll repeat it again. I do not think, or in fact, I've never seen one that comes with alloy wheel with factory 1.4 liter engine, which in this case is TU3JP4. No, TU3JP engine, which is about 72 to 75 miles, 75 horsepower. There's a reason. In fact, the tire size is 195/65, 15, 15. The reason being that for this car, because of the power, the engine is very underpowered. They had to reduce weight or drop some weight on the standard Peugeot 307 on the one that comes with this engine. So they put lighter wheel. The way that it comes from factory is stay wheel. They put lighter wheel. In fact, the Peugeot 307 that comes with this particular one, in fact, in the interior, they remove some gadgets there, like the rear seat. The window is not even there. It's not electronic. It's the manual one. Because the electronic motor that controls that window at the back has some weight. Even in the front one has weight too, compared to that of manual. So what they did was they removed so many things. They did not put if you're buying any 307 with that 1.4 liter engine, know that it's going to be basic. You won't get, there are so many gadgets you will not get in that car. In fact, having ABS is just maybe because probably at that time they made it compulsory. during the time of 307 that every car must have ABS. That's even the reason you may even get ABS. That's if all of them do have ABS. They had to do everything to reduce the weight that car so that the engine can be able to pull. Remember, it's about 1,200 and something kg. So that 72 horsepower engine can be able to pull the vehicle at least without consuming much fuel and be able to give it the best, the fuel economy among the rest of the 307. Another factor that can mess up this figure with that vehicle is when you start pushing it beyond the as design, then you will never get this much. In fact, it will consume less than probably the 2.0. The engine, trust me, that vehicle doesn't, it takes eternity to pull. So what it means, you have, if you know you're not a patient type, don't even bother buying it. Just enter, put it, gear it in, and wait until it gets to a reasonable speed for you to shift to another gear. And yes, they all comes in manual, no automatic option. You can even see here, look at the table, you can see it doesn't have automatic transmission option, only manual. Because it's going to be horrible to put automatic transmission that even has more weight than manual on this engine on 307. So you have to let it let it drive itself gradually, give it time. When you get up to and it's time to shift a higher gear, then you shift. Don't rest that car. If you rest it, it's going to the fuel consumption will become very, very poor, even probably worse than the 2.0. And if you keep doing that, you will kill the engine because the engine is carrying, at that time, you're pushing it to bear or carry weight or load that is not meant to, do. It's not designed to carry that kind of load. It's going to kill that engine. So drive it, like I said, to me, is best when it comes to you doing Uber. But there are some cases that it will consume less, even when you try to do everything according to the book. And that is, if most times when doing that kind of taxi work, it may be only one person that you carry, because it's not like you load passengers. No, you carry, Uber, everybody understand what it means, like a drop, you carry only one person or two persons. That's if there are like about two or three that hired your car to drop them somewhere. It may take one or two. Three is there, but it's still struggle. But you will make more, you will get more of this, or you achieve this miles per gallon when you don't carry more than two passengers with average weight. I'm talking about like 75 kg. Once you start carrying three that has over 70 something kg, or you load up the boot, trust me, the 2.0 will consume less in this case. Likewise, let's even step away from the 1.4. When you come to the 1.6, yes, it has a little bit more power, which is 106 horsepower. Just say between 106 and 110 maximum horsepower. Almost all, I'll put it like 90% of the ones I've seen, Peugeot 307 car that come with this engine I've seen, 90% of them, or okay, maybe 90% is too much. Let's just say about 80 or 85% of them come with steel wheel, not alloy wheels. And they also have the tire sizes are 195, 65, lim 15, not 16, 15. These things, alloy, see, also the alloy wheel have weight. But I've also come, my observation is most people, they will go and buy a Peugeot 307 with that engine, whether auto or manual. Then they will go and buy alloy wheel, most times 16, 16, not even 15. Then they will put a big fat tire, 205, 55, 205, 65, all these things, adding more load to the engine that is not even meant to carry that kind of load. And then they become surprised that the car is moving sluggishly, it doesn't have enough power. This load, and remember, this 307 with 1.6 liter has about 1,300 and something kg. Is it 1,325 also? Forgotten. 1,300 and something kg. I think so. Don't remember. I think that's the weight. You know. So imagine 108 or 106 horsepower with a very low engine torque pulling that kind of weight. So that's why I'm still if I were to choose between 2.0 liter and 1.6 liter engine, that's the 2.0 I'm referring to is the one with 143 horsepower, which is the EW10A, the RFJ. If I were to choose that, I would choose the EW10A, the 2.0 liter, over the 1.6 liter, simply because, number one, the fuel consumption is just insignificant in terms of the difference. It's just very little. It's only the 1.4 that has high margin between all of them. So it's just very little. And then it will come to a point where when you need to carry loads, carry passengers, more than 3, 4, carry load in the boot with the AC running, it's not going to feel it. Yes, it will not feel the load. I'm not saying you will not feel it, but in terms of the consumption, it will not even be very far from what Peugeot claimed here. But every other one with the smaller engine is going to feel it. It's going to drop. Because this analysis here, this table here is like the fuel consumption you get like only with the driver. Not with all the car loads. No, just the driver with average of maybe about 70 or 75 kg. With the spare tire, every other thing, like just the way the car was when it was so brand new, without any additional item inside the vehicle, and just the driver with this thing. This is what you're expected to get. And for example, if you are in the city and you don't rev beyond maybe 3,000 RPM, you tend to get this kind of mileage. So I want to take my time to do this, even if it lasts more than 1 hour, I don't care. So that people will actually understand. At least you have seen the figure now. It's not like I'm not telling you that maybe I'm speaking off my head. I don't really know what I'm talking about. This is just, if you have a Peugeot 307 phase 2, go and look at the user manual. You'll see this thing, exactly this. So it's not from me. I didn't prepare this thing. This is from Peugeot. And from the practical aspect, not just in theory, yes, they are right. This is what I also observe. I drive these cars every once in a while. People bring and all that. So I know exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to fuel economy. Same thing with highway. You look at 2.0 liter, 143 bhp or horsepower. It's almost the same with the 1.6 liter NFU, which is 48. So how much can you say because of additional 1 mile per gallon, you rather choose the one with a lower power? That when you now add more load, it will now consume less, while the one with a bigger power will maintain almost the same load because the engine already has that power to carry some load without feeling it. Unlike the one that is already underpowered, that once you add anything, if you really want to understand what I mean, just look for any Peugeot 307 with that 1.4 liter engine, which is the TU3 engine. Start it, put it in motion, then while it's in motion, switch on the AC. You will see what's going to happen. It will look as if something just draw the car from the back. The power will just drop. Even the TU3, even the TU5 JP4, when you put on AC, I'm not saying it's going to reduce the power that much, but you feel that the car moves a little. Acceleration tends to be sharper without the AC than when you switch on AC. So the one that don't actually feel it that much, I'm not saying it won't stay effective, but it's the 2.0 liter. Yeah, it will affect it. Still, not the power is not that much, 143. But compared to the other one, no, It has differences there. And remember, when that kind of taxi is Uber. No, that kind of business, Uber, right, or whatever, is still taxi work. So it means you always have to be on your AC. So now you've seen the consumption. The reason why I'm doing this so that you understand that I'm not just speaking out of my ass. Look at the figures. Do the comparison yourself. Don't just focus on the highest number. There are other factors you have to consider. Does the business require that you have to be carrying load? It's just as somebody who is doing interstate. If you're going to use it for mostly interstate, don't even bother going for the 1.4 or the 1.6. If you are going to do more of interstate, like you spend more time on highway and you are going to be carrying load, so much loading on you carrying passengers up to 4 at the back or one in front. Don't even consider the lower engine. You have to go for a bigger engine if you want the engine to last for you. For example, let me put it another way. That 1.6 liter engine, the TU5 JP4, the maximum speed, the maximum they've tuned that engine based from on the engine ECU, or the limit you can push it based on stock ECU is 190 kilometers per hour. 190 kilometers per hour. It can't go beyond that. What does that tell you? It means, in fact, it means the average speed is that you supposed to do without stressing the engine much is like highest 150 kilometers per hour. 150 kilometers per hour. That's what I think that at least should be your maximum or average speed you can do. Doesn't mean that you cannot push up to that 190 kilometer that is the maximum. But that is like a one-off thing. Maybe once in a year or something, you may find yourself, you do that. I'm not saying you should go and break your country's rule on the road, but talking about the country that have road, you can drive up to 200, 250, 300, whatever. That, but because of the engines that like the one with 72 horsepower, that's 1.4 or the 1.6 that has 110 or 108, maximum of 190, under 90 horsepower is not something you every day you enter the highway, start pushing the car close to 180 or 170 kilometers per hour. You're going to kill that engine if you keep doing that for all the time. And of course, once you start pushing it towards that 170, the consumption will go very high. Let me put it in a different way. If you drive 170 kilometers per hour on Peugeot 307 with that 1.6 liter, and if you drive 170 kilometers per hour on the 307 with 2.0 liter, the 2.0 liter will consume less. It will consume less at that speed. For example, this 2.0 liter, which is EW10, the maximum speed is about 200 and is it 210? I think 210 or 205, something like that. 210. I know it's over 200. So 210. Let's just leave it at 210 kilometers per hour. Is it 210 or 220? Trying to remember, either 210 or 220. One of them. So yes, it can actually take more speed. It can take that kind of load or stress more than the TU5. So because the engine has a bigger capacity, it means maybe at that 170 kilometers per hour, the RPM of the 2.0 liter may be around maybe 4,000, 4,005. While the RPM of the 1.6 at that 170 kilometers per hour probably may be around 6,000. So the higher your RPM gets close to the red zone, the more stressful it becomes on the engine. That's what I'm saying. So you need to understand, know what you're doing. If you're going for a smaller engine, know that it has to be strictly to be driven slowly. 1.6 liter, do not go beyond 150 kilometers per hour. If you are going for Uber, I mean, you don't, if anybody buying any, going for to do that kind of taxi work, don't even go beyond 120 kilometers per hour. If you don't want to waste your money on profit, just stay below in fact, below 120 kilometers per hour, to be honest. If you want your car to consume exactly the way it appears here on the highway, don't go beyond highest like 100, 110, 100, 110. You will get this. If you start going beyond 120, you even near any of these figures. You will not. Trust me, as somebody who have been driving all these cars, both low and high speed. Once you push it beyond the capacity, it will not, it will drink even close to or more than V6. For example, the TU5JP4, which is 1.6 liter engine, is 190. That's maximum speed is 190 kilometers per hour, right? Yet the V6 406 manual with gear 4, on gear 4, it's 5-speed manual, right? On gear 4, the gear 4 will push to 190 kilometers per hour. I'm talking about gear 4 will push to 190 kilometers per hour. Gear 3 will push to about 150 kilometers per hour. Yes, I'm not telling you this. I'm telling you as someone that knows what I'm talking about. So in that case, when you now drive um, gear V6, which is the ES9J4, the 3.0 liter engine, ES9J4S engine, if you now drive it at 170 kilometers per hour with the same ETU5, which one do you think will consume less at that time? Which one do you think will have more stress on the engine? Knowing that the V6 maximum power is almost close to 250, about 240, 245 or thereabouts, forgotten, either from 235 to 250. So just leave it at maybe maximum of 250 horsepower. That's the limit. So imagine which one do you think will have, in fact, at 170 kilometers per hour, V6 will be like, what are you doing? Because I've not actually started work. But for this engine, it's going to be very stressful. So not what you are buying and what you're going to use it for. For taxi, if you want to go for the 1.4, do it, but don't go and start racing the vehicle. Not only that you are killing that engine, you kill all your profit, wasting it on fuel. So you have to don't go beyond 110 kilometers per hour if you are buying the 1.4 liter. Take it from me. If you want to make your profit, some people go into that kind of business and within space of few months they will make enough money to buy another car and put in the business. So you can actually achieve that, but follow what they are designed. Don't go and start buying fat tires on a 307 with a 1.6 liter petrol engine. Don't. You're going to waste your money. You can't make enough profit from the business because that fat tire is adding too much load on the engine. The law said 195, 65, 15. Leave it at it. Don't go beyond that. Same thing with 1.4 liter, 195, 65. Stay away, leave it at that. Yes, I've seen few TU5 in the Peugeot 307 with alloy wheel, about one or two factory. Yes, I've seen them. But the such ones, you also see some gadgets will not be there to compensate the alloy wheel they put there. So you guys need to understand all these things. In terms now, let's talk about the cost of maintenance. I don't even know. I've done so many. I don't think I will talk more on this anyway, in fact, because I've done videos. I've done, like I said, I've done more than 10 videos on 307. Then specifically, even the engines. I've also done videos on the engines on alone, not just the models. I've talked about the cost of maintenance, the positive and the negatives. You can just go there and watch them. I don't need to keep repeating because otherwise this video will go into like 3 hours. So the 205, I've done even did a video on that. It's the same engine in Peugeot 206. So it will be easier just ask people that drive Peugeot 206 with that 1.4-liter engine, the cost of maintenance. There's nothing there. It's just the user wear and tear. Change the timing. I talked about it. It comes only with timing tensioner and timing roller. It doesn't have no timing. Yeah, the timing belt and timing tensioner. It doesn't have timing roller. They are very cheap. The two items, timing belt and timing tensioner, are cheap. What's it called? The auxiliary belt and tensioner, same thing. So I've talked about all these things. You need to find out exactly. And I did mention in one of my videos that TU3, if you drive a Peugeot car with TU3 JP engine, that's the 1.4-liter engine in 206, 307, be very careful when it comes to changing timing belts. Like I said, some of them, in fact, their timing belts are not uniform. There are some you find, you open or you check with your VIN, find out that the timing belt there has about 104 teeth. While there's one you check it to tell you that it has about, is it 108 or 109 teeth? Forgotten. So don't just assume that all the same. You buy the belt before you put. And if you are changing your engine, if your VIN shows that the timing belt is supposed to be 140, and you change engine and put that of same TU3 JP engine. Before you mount it, remove that thermostat housing cover, confirm the number of teeth. In fact, you may even have to remove the timing belt and count yourself. You have to count it, not just whether it looks like that. No, remove it and count the teeth, and then note it. So when next you are buying the timing belt, you use that number of teeth to buy, not your VIN anymore. Because even though it's the same engine, but the belts, the tension, everything may differ, so that if you go and buy 104 and put where it's supposed to be 109, you're going to have of course, it will not enter easily. If you force it in, you will cut off and damage your engine. So that's one thing. That's something, probably I've never mentioned it before. I did that, I don't know, but that's something you need to take away from this video. For the TU3JP or TU3 owners, count the number of teeth, unless you are sure that the engine in that vehicle is still the one from factory. Yes, then you can use your VIN to order your timing kit. But if you are not sure, or if you've changed the engine, your VIN doesn't matter anymore when it comes to the timing kit. You have to remove that cover, remove the belt, the current belt on that timing belt there, count the number of teeth there. It could still be the number of teeth for the old engine you removed. Could be the same, but you have to confirm. Otherwise, if you buy the wrong one, assuming that it will be the same, you may end up losing that engine. You lose it, it will damage it when the belt cuts. You may even cut that same day or the next day, or may not even enter, like I said, or may enter and be too loose. So that's something you need to know. So if you are buying, use it properly. I've talked about the maintenance costs and so many of them. For example, all TU engines, TU3, TU5, they all use the same thermostat. Same thermostat housing. Though the later TU5 JP4 engine, thermostat housing changed a little. They use different thermostat housing that now have thermostat inside, not just the external thermostat attached, and so many other things. So just the EW10A, I've done so many videos on EW10A and EW10J4. I know I didn't talk about EW10J4 because I'm just using the table of EW10A, that's the phase 2. But the fuel consumption, you just take it that it's almost the same, even though the EW10A consumes less. But it's both are just leave it at the same for this analysis or for this video. So for EW10, I've done videos comparing the EW10A and EW10J4. So you can go and watch those videos because I mentioned the negative and the positives, the cost of maintenance and the rest, and how to keep the engines in good conditions and the rest. I've talked about so many things about Peugeot 207 that will help you make a better decision on which one to buy, you know. And you need to understand something. My videos, when you watch them, when I do them, you will realize that when I do video specifically on engines, you will find out that I do mention almost all Peugeot cars you will find that engine in. So don't just scroll through when you see a video on part one or two engines specifically being discussed, or as the title of the subject. It could be that the engine is in a Peugeot car you are interested in. Watch it and know if it makes sense to you to consider buying the Peugeot car with that engine or not, after evaluating the negative and positive or the cost of maintenance. Now, people do have this wrong uh, mindset or information when they come to Peugeot from other brand, thinking that Peugeot is like every other brand. You need to understand there are some information. In fact, when you are switching from different another brand to Peugeot, just leave almost all the information you know about cars. Keep it aside until you join Peugeot brand or group or family, then understand the Peugeot system. Then you can now start connecting some of them with your own knowledge. If you come with the knowledge you have from other things, you make a lot of mistakes, you make wrong choices. For example, there's no such thing as Peugeot 406 engine, Peugeot 307 engine, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't exist like that. What Peugeot do is they will produce a series of engines and use it in almost all the vehicles they produce within that decade. That's why what I usually emphasize on the Peugeot engine models. The engine models, that's why I mention it a lot. Even on the title, I always put it so I know, even if I'm talking about Peugeot 307, if you are driving Peugeot 206 with this engine I'm talking about, you know that this also, um, it's also relates to you, not just to the 307 users. Because it's not as if the TU5JP in 307 is different from the one in 206. Same engine. So yeah, the timing tensioner may differ or no, zero bed tensioner or something, but those ones are insignificant. Talking about the entire engine. So that's what you need to know. Ask specific questions. Try to be specific when it comes to project. Find out what your emphasis should be on this engine. How is the fuel consumption like? What's the maintenance cost like? What's the negative with that you may or may not experience? Doesn't mean that when I talk about negative, it means you must experience it. But at least know that these issues are there, so you may or may not experience it during your own ownership. Or most importantly, when you know that they are there, the next question should be, how do you use the car and prevent experiencing such negatives? Period. Then you now look at the positive. And most times, focus more. The reason why I prefer people to focus more on positive, with even having the knowledge of the negative, because when you hear the two, the negative and positive, if the positive outweigh the negative for you, then you've seen the vehicle you need to buy. I could say the way you need, because to you, the positive is enough for you. In fact, it makes you happy already, knowing that this car possesses this kind of thing. And then the negatives, okay, they are there. But if the negative outweighs the positive, you won't be happy. But you are happy when you hear the positive and negative, because the positive outweighs the negative. But another thing you need to understand is, just because you are happy with the positive of that car, you will be surprised that some other person, the negative, the positive that makes you happy may even be negative to the other person. So because of that, you will choose not to buy it. Because to you may not be interested in power. Your only interest is fuel consumption. You don't care even if it takes you 3 hours to get to the destination of the person with bigger power that will take him about 10 minutes to get to. You don't care. All you care about is your car to consume 5 liters per 100 kilometers or 3 liters per 100 kilometers, and it makes you happy. Then any other thing, another person is saying that, oh, it's boring to drive. It won't make any sense to you. You don't care. You are happy with the fuel economy you are after. So you always have to look at the whole condition variables and make your own choice. The best I could do is to explain all these variables, the conditions there, show you everything so that you can now choose, okay, yeah, I can tell you the best in terms of fuel economy is the 1.4. But there are conditions that will mess up that 1.4, and the 2.0 will be better than the 1.4. That's why I need to show you guys all this. Then explain some of those conditions that can affect it, or that can make it, or may even be start realizing that it's not bad to even use the 2.0, even though they consume more, but you can still make the profit if you use it this way. So, all right, I think I've tried in this video. So if you have any question, you can post it in the comment section, or just send me the information. Just do your very best and learn these systems and make your own choice. You know, I hope it makes sense to you. And okay, that's all.